is the mainland of Duluth. And on our right, or our starboard side, there are 2 bridge tenders on duty 24 hours a day during the shipping season from mid-March to mid-January. One tender mans the bridge during the winter months. The bridge lifts toll-free and there is no charge to cross it. The first aerial bridge was very different from the one you see today. The lifting roadway was not there, and the top span of the bridge was closer to the water. A gondola car hung up from the top span and shuttled back and forth between the 2 towers. It could carry 60 tons of vehicles and passengers. As the population of Minnesota Point grew, traffic outgrew the old gondola car and a replacement was needed. To avoid the cost of tearing the old bridge down, the new bridge was built inside of it, giving the aerial bridge the unique beauty we enjoy today. First, and this is how the bridge works. Each tower holds a big block of concrete that moves in the opposite direction of the lifting span. These 2 500-ton concrete blocks counterbalance the 1,000-ton lifting span so well that the bridge needs just 2 125-horsepower electric motors to operate.
Where is that? Joseph, is it down there?
In fact, whenever the bridge is repainted, weight is added to the concrete blocks to offset the weight of the new paint on the lifting span. The lift bridge has made about 486,000 lifts in its 81 years of operation. It makes about 6,000 lifts per year, much of that during the busy summer months. Up to 3,000 vehicles cross the bridge on a busy summer day. Everybody wave. We are now passing through the Duluth Ship Canal, one of 2 entries to the harbor. On our right is Minnesota Point, the giant sandbar that forms the harbor's outer barrier. It was once a peninsula, but the digging of this canal cut it off from the rest of Duluth, making it an island. Looking to the right, you can see the 6-mile sand beach along the lakeshore of Minnesota Point. If you look all the way down the beach, you might be able to see the lighthouse and piers that mark the Superior Entry, the natural entrance to the harbor. The Superior Entry are from the with a surface area of 31,700 square miles. That's about the same size as the state of South Carolina or Indiana. If you climb Duluth's tallest hill on a clear day, you could see 35 miles over the lake, but you'd only be looking at 1.5% of its surface area. Lake Superior has an average depth of 489 feet and a maximum depth of 1,332 feet. That means you could stand the Empire State Building up from the bottom of Lake Superior's deepest point, and on the top floor of that skyscraper would still be 8 stories underwater.
Sharks are only in the ocean. You know, when we went to Florida, and we went to to the beach, Daytona Beach, and swam in the ocean.
It may not look like it, but Interstate 35 runs right along the shoreline ahead of us. It was first planned as a 4-story tall overhead freeway, which would have blocked Duluth from its lakeshore and been vulnerable to freezing spray from waves kicked up by winter storms. Duluth citizens demanded a better design, so engineers routed I-35 through a series of tunnels that protect the roadway and enhance Duluth's connection to the lakeshore. Construction began in 1982 and lasted 12 years. The project won awards worldwide and was a key part of Duluth's waterfront revitalization. On the outside of the first freeway tunnel, we find a large blue, white, and gray mural. This mural is made up of over 1 million 1-inch tiles and is a visual timeline of shipping here in the Twin Ports. The mural reads from left to right, with the left portion depicting the oldest history of the Twin Ports Harbor and the right side depicting the present day. It was created under the direction of local artist Mark Moreno. The White Dome on shore is the Northland Vietnam Veterans Memorial. The dome features the emblems of the 5 branches of our armed forces. Behind it stands a wall engraved with the names of 136 men from this area who did not return from the war. The memorial was dedicated on Memorial Day 1992 and was funded totally by private donations and was designed by local veteran Dwight Nelson. The large brick building with the red water tower and tall smokestack is Fitker's Brewery. It was built in 1869, and it brewed Fitker's famous beer for almost a century, except during Prohibition when it bottled soft drinks and made candy bars to stay in business. Or at least that's what they told the government. Fitker's had to close in 1972 to make way for the freeway, but before it was torn down, the interstate was rerouted through the tunnels and the building was spared. It was then renovated and reopened in 1984 as a shopping and dining complex, which has shops, restaurants, and even a hotel.
I don't know. Those are going to go across the lake. They're way out in the water. They're telling us about how Duluth was named. Look up there. Look at that one round building. The gray one with the round house. Look at veterans there. There's a gray building straight ahead. And then there's a round eagle on the other side.
Now you probably noticed people walking, biking, and jogging along Facebook.com/Vista Fleet, and you like our page, you'll be able to tag yourself in those pictures, which is pretty darn cool. So make sure you go to our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Vista Fleet, and like it for us. To our right and left are the lighthouses of the Duluth entry. On our right side, the North Pier features a red flashing light. The red roofed building on our left features a steady green light. It also houses our harbor's foghorn. The lighthouse further up the South Pier, next to the bridge, features a revolving white light. The U.S. Coast Guard operates and maintains all 3 of these lights. It's very common during our trips for people walking along the canal to wave at our passengers. We certainly encourage you to wave back.
Christian, I'll be down in a sec.
captain will be signaling the bridge.
Cover them now.